Welcome back to Channel Ron. I'm going to be working on the '07 Ford Focus again, my runabout. And the problem I'm having is the shifting indicator is not working. It's just a slide that goes back and forth to tell me what gear I'm in. And it stopped working. And when I went to get an inspection sticker, that's one of the things that had failed. So I got to go ahead and replace that. So I went to the junkyard and I picked up what I needed to do the job with, and I should be all set. Now this is going to be kind of a step-by-step. There's a lot to this to get this whole console out of here, so kind of bear with me and we'll get through this together. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to make this work, what you're going to need to do is put both seats back as far back as they'll go. Okay, recline them back a little bit, both of them. Recline them back, this one as well. And you're going to need to remove this little rest here, armrest. This is going to have to come off. There are two screws up in the front. There's one in the back. Okay, next, and what also going to want to do is bring the shifting linkage down a little bit. So to do that, just turn the car on. Make sure you got a block under the rear wheel or the front wheel. Go ahead and bring that down midway. Turn the key back off, just so it's going to be easier to work around. Now, if you've got the little rubber protectors on your cup holders, go ahead and remove those. One on each side. And then right underneath them, there's going to be a Phillips screw. You're going to need to go ahead and remove both of those. Now on the back, you've got a couple things going on here. You've got to remove this little plug here, all right, and then there's going to be a Phillips screw there that you have to remove. And then right below the armrest, there's going to be a plate that you're going to have to get in there and remove. And what that's going to do, it's going to reveal two screws on the back here. You need to remove those. Now you should be able to take that whole armrest and remove that right out of there. Okay, you may find you have to move the seat back and forth a couple times to be able to get in here for the armrest and so forth. So once you get to that point, go ahead and pull the emergency brake as high as it will go. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up on you. And now we have to kind of work it out of there. You're going to be working that boot up around there. There we go. Gentle with it. All right, got that. Just kind of get that out of the way. Good time to clean it as well. All right, now we can get into our mechanism right here. Okay, in order for us to be able to pull this mechanism off, we have to remove this shifting knob. So we got a little Allen screw there that we have to pull out. So once you get the handle loosened up, you're going to leave the set screw in there. You're going to go ahead and there's a clip on either side. One here, one on the other side, and then one on the back. You're going to need to push on those to release it. All right, just bring it up ever so slightly. Be careful. Here's part of the indicator. And you're going to want to move that shifting linkage forward. And then you see this little wire right here. You're going to need to remove that. So just get in there with a little small screwdriver and be able to remove that. Okay, I believe that's for the overdrive switch. So now you should be able to pull that whole mechanism up. On the opposite side here, there is a light bulb that you're going to need to unscrew. You should be able to pull that whole mechanism right up out of there. Okay, so there it is, and there is the strip that goes in there to tell us what gear it's in, and obviously it's broken. So now we're going to go ahead and take the one that we picked up from the junkyard, and we're going to go ahead and reinstall it. Okay, well here's the new one, or a used one anyways, from the junkyard. But before I go ahead and put this all back in, I'm going to go ahead and clean this all up. I'm going to use my original shifting knob. There's no need to replace that. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and clean this all up. Alright, that cleaned up very nicely. So I went ahead and took the shifter out of the other one. It just slides in there. Just keep in mind that this wire needs to stay towards the front of the vehicle. Kind of slide that in there like that. And when you slide this back down over, you may find that you want to pull this set screw out just a little bit. You can pull it right off if you want, but I just kind of pull that back a little bit, because if not, it'll get caught up on the mechanism here. So let's go ahead and slide that on. Remember that the wire needs to stay up in the front. And don't forget that the light bulb plugs into here. Slid in there nice. All right, let's go ahead and hook the bulb in and the wire on the side. and it has to be in park in order to hook the wire on the side. Go ahead and put the bulb back in, just like this. Like that. So bring that wire down, and it has to be in park. The shifter has to be all the way up so you can get to this. And this is a little tricky. Just take a small screwdriver and kind of line it up and push it in, just like that. So we got it all back together. Don't forget to tighten up the set screw on the shifting lever here. Okay, that's one thing we forgot to show you. Make sure you get that tightened up. And in order for us to get the console back in, we're going to have to put it back in a different gear here. Alright, let's go ahead and pop it back in. Take the boot and get it around your emergency brake. Actually, we might be able to just take it out and put it in. Just finagle it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the boot back on. And it goes like this. You can actually release that emergency brake now. Go ahead and get those front screws in. Okay, remember the armrest. Just going to reinstall that. It just slides in. Put the screws in. Okay, don't forget that cover. Snaps on. Then the last screw that holds the back on. Again, we're just reversing the process. Okay, well there it is. There's the old one. The new one's all installed, all set to go. So now I can see what gear I'm in. Not that I needed this, but in order to pass inspection, this needed to be working. So, well, I hope this helps you with your shifting indicator problem on your Ford Focus, and stay tuned for the next one.